Hello, I'm Richard Hooper and this is SatTV Week. Now I'm pleased to be joined by Rebecca Cowen-Hirsch of Inmarsat. Rebecca, thank you for joining me today. Can I first start by asking you about the Inmarsat fleet?
Absolutely. Well, firstly, of course, Inmarsat has been flying our satellites now for 40 years, so we've got a phenomenal legacy. But we don't ever stop with just resting on those laurels. We are investing for the future. Just as recent as November, we launched our 5th Global Express satellite, which we call GX5. That is the first step in the next series of innovations for our Global Express fleet. That opens up a whole new opportunity for us to add additional capacity and capability in regions where it's needed most. And it is the beginning of additional technological advances that are coming down the pipeline.
So looking at the GX5 and the roadmap for the future, what is it particularly targeting?
So it is actually targeting, firstly, it's phenomenal advancement. That one satellite alone has more capacity and capability than the first 4 satellites in the Global Express fleet. So it's very dense in its capability, but it's also significantly smaller in size. So it's a much more agile satellite as well. It also has some steerable beams on it that's targeted for our military audiences as well. But it also begins that next phase where we do GX7, 8, and 9, which become incredibly more adaptive and flexible with some software definability that will actually be able to be even more capability and capacity, but more importantly, responsive to the environment that supports all of our airborne, our maritime, our government, our land customers, our entire commercial community.
Now I'm going to pick you up on a point there. You talked about defence. How important is the defence sector to Inmarsat?
So the defense sector is quite important, although it's not our largest sector of business. We come from a maritime heritage, and that is our foundation. But the government, the U.S. government in particular, is our single largest customer. They're also always on the leading edge of capability, so we try to stay ahead of that need and being really relevant for their requirements and needs, but also benefiting all of our commercial customers. It's a significant demand signal that we get from the U.S. government as well as our allied nations. The UK is a significant partner, as one would expect since we are a UK company.
Now, as the market evolves, how is Inmarsat changing to target these new developments?
We're adding these technological advancements that allow beamforming, adaptive capabilities, enhanced capabilities, robust ground segments, just to be able to add diversity as well as redundancy into our own networks. And when we look at how that applies specifically in the national security space, we actually are complementary to government-owned and operated systems, operating right alongside, sometimes in the same frequency bands, but also in similar capabilities, but a very robust secure, cyber-protected network that is relevant to that particular market and, of course, all of our other commercial vectors as well.
Now, you mentioned security, cyber security. We've heard a lot about it. Are people on top of cyber security? Are they taking their eye off the ball, or is it still at the forefront of everybody's mind?
It certainly is at the forefront of Inmarsat's mind. We have a very vibrant cyber secure approach and a cyber secure environment with very talented professionals. Our ability to be able to guarantee to our customers that we are actually operating a network that is protected is essential for our ability to continue to do business. Now, whether we as individuals are honing our attention specifically on cyber protection, that varies dramatically. But as a company whose business is providing an assured, secure, trusted network on a global basis, it's fundamentally important to everything that we do.
Now, looking at the future, moving forward, the market's changing, it's evolving, customer demands are getting greater and greater. What are your key performance indicators moving forward?
We're certainly wanting to stay ahead of that demand curve. There is an insatiable demand for capacity, and so we want to be ahead of that. We already have our global infrastructure, not only in our heritage L-band, which we're adding additional capabilities with our Inmarsat 6 satellites, but also in our wideband capability on our Global Express. You know, we want to ensure that we don't leave our users behind, so we're always backwards compatible while we're headed towards the future with new technologies, adaptive waveforms, additional capabilities, and always looking towards that technological advancement. We're benefiting from what's happening in the industry as well in terms of manufacturing. A lot of the other market space are looking at more of a rapid development satellite buses. We'll be using some of those buses on our GX7, 8, and 9. So we're watching what the industry's doing and always making sure that we're focused on being ahead of that demand curve, but innovating, always providing that Inmarsat stamp of capability.
Well, Rebecca, interesting times. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.